Hi, Tosha. I've been in a bit of a panic this week, and I think it's related to the law of attraction way of doing things that has me freaking out. Several dear friends of mine have been saying that I must envision my future and exactly what I want, or basically, I'm screwed. I love this. I love how she wrote it. The thing is, I really don't know what I want right now. I'm just trying to keep my head above water while I release pretty much every single thing that used to be in my life. It's one of the things I love about living the OO way. I don't have to figure it all out by myself, but I'm still kind of freaked out that I don't have a clear vision of what I want my life to look like. Because I do believe that the energy we're vibrating or putting out in the world does attract the same kind of energy. I'm doing a lot of hard crying lately, a lot of grief, sadness, despair, which now has me feeling anxious that I'm sending that out, and maybe I'll attract more of that into my life. I would love to hear any of your thoughts and changing prayers on this topic. This is such a great question. All right. I think there is like a massive disinformation campaign out there. I don't think it's intentional, but there's so much disinformation about this. All right. First of all, you do not need to know what you're creating if you know that you are not the one creating it. The divine you, the great self, is creating it. The ego does not need to have a template of what it wants if your deepest intention is that the divine bring the highest. If you say, and this is what I personally say all the time, I only want the highest. I only want the divine will in every area of my life. Whether it's work, whether it's money, whether it's partnership, whether it's health, whether it's travel, whether it's enlightenment, whatever these things are, I only want what God wants. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Once you say that, do you think that I have to sit around and say, and by the way, God, my new girlfriend needs to look like blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, by the way, I need to go to Bali this week. It's like you start to realize that you don't really need to tell God anything except you do what you want. You do what you want. Now, if you're not there, if you're listening to me and you're kind of going, well, that sounds nice to me, but I'm not there, then you can pray to begin to trust the divine plan. That's a great changing prayer. You can say, shift me into somebody who trusts that all of my needs will always be met in amazing and wondrous ways. I love making these kind of dramatic and flamboyant because that's my nature. But you don't have to make them like that. You can make them however you are. But I think this really becomes a dialogue with the inner divine, like, change me into somebody who can trust that even the deepest desires of the heart. And let me trust that you know how to guide me. Now, you can tell from everything I was saying earlier in the call that this isn't about passivity, and you're praying to have the actions be guided to you at the right time, right? So, but this idea that somehow the universe is going to be confused if you don't tell it exactly what you want, I so relate to what Naomi wrote here, because you often don't know. When we're in periods, this is a great time to read this question. When we're in periods like this eclipse that just finished, eclipses block the light. Most people don't know what the heck they need or want. That's the truth. That's what eclipses do. So to think that if you don't know, you're going to kind of end up in some, ditch by the side of the cosmic road, that's not how it works. She's right in the sense that this is all about vibration, but not in the way that a lot of law of attraction stuff teaches. You do attract according to your vibration. And if your vibration, the highest vibration is not to be fake happy all the time and to paste some bizarro smile when you're feeling bad. That's not the highest vibration. The highest vibration is to say, let me have the deepest intimacy with the divine. Let me wish what the divine wishes. That's how you hold a high vibration, and that certainly doesn't mean you will never be unhappy, or that you will never cry, or that you will never feel despair. There were saints that, that's how the term dark night of the soul got coined. Saints went through the dark night of the soul, and I think it's such a disservice that's out there to make people think that they have to be some kind of weird. You can always feel when you meet people like that, like they've got this weird, fake happiness. It's not real. And they say things like, I'm good, but I'm getting better, and everything's perfect. And you look in their eyes sometimes, and you see pain. And you want to say, God, can't you just tell me the truth that you're hurting right now? Like, that's okay. Because the small self goes through all kinds of stuff. And I think the way this unfolds in an authentic way is that you just become more and more the real you, feelings and all. And you start to realize that there's a divine self that is truly the doer and that makes everything occur. Once you learn how to let the great self be the doer that makes everything happen, you don't have to worry if you're having a bad day. It doesn't matter. Plenty of days where I cry. It just doesn't matter. I just don't think that I'm that small self crying. I just am like, oh, how interesting. I guess now we're going to go through a ton of sadness. But I don't identify the way I used to with being that one who's crying. And I think that's how this can work in a very authentic way. You don't have to be fake. And you don't have to pretend to have answers you don't. Because I love that line from Kabir, where he said, I think I gave it to you the other day, he said, if you're a slave to love, then love does all the work. Oh my God, I can just swoon from that line. It's like if you're the slave to love, love does all the work. The ego doesn't have to sit down and go, here's my list of what I need to have or my life's going to suck. It's like, no. As soon as you say, I don't need to know. One thing you need to know, you're inviting the divine into your life to bring the highest plan. Once you know that you want that, you will be guided on the breadcrumb trail to the things that need to occur. And sometimes they look very different than that shopping list. Sometimes you think you need a job this minute, and instead the divine is saying, you know what? You actually need 3 months to rest. And don't worry about money. It'll look a little sketchy, but at the end of the 3 months, you're going to have more than you need, and you need the rest first. I've seen stuff like that all the time. Or the person saying, oh, what I really need right now is a partner. And the divine is saying, are you insane? What you actually need to do is learn how to be on your own feet for a little while, and then you'll get the partner once you know how to be your own feet. It's like all those things. That's why this focus on manifesting wishes is so limited, because the divine inside is seeing the big picture. Now, nothing wrong with the desires. It's just that to think, as this letter says so well, that you need to know what you need, absolutely not. You just need to know that you want the divine plan. And I say that every day. I just am constantly saying, bring your plan, make it clear. Sometimes I'll say, I actually do not know what the hell you are planning right now, but I trust you. And I know you'll use me. because that's all I'm. And believe me, that works.